The pressure that comes with relocating or migrating that no one talks about. I've been wanting to do this video for a while now, but I couldn't just come together with the right title to describe what I want to be talking about in this video. There are some emotional and psychological things that I went through when I came into the UK, and I feel it's not just me. I feel like some other people also maybe have gone through some of these things that we need to talk more about it and making people aware about. So I'll be sharing from my personal experiences, and I believe from my personal experiences you can get to learn one or two things that maybe you have already like gone through, or something that you could like relate to, or something that could help you in your relocation journey. Hello everyone, my name is Moyadeyemi and you're welcome to this channel. On this channel I talk about life in the UK majorly, and I also talk about like lifestyle. I just talk about anything that I want to talk about, you know. And if you'd like to stick around to see more of content like this, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below. And if you're a returning subscriber, if you have done so already, thank you so much. I'd like you to stick to the very end. I'll be sharing the most important factor that I feel contributes to the way that people feel, especially when they move into the UK. Without wasting any of our time, let's go into today's topic. So going into my experience, I came into the UK September 2020. We all know that COVID was still very much around at that time. There was lockdown, there was a lot of things going on, and it's not the best time for somebody to relocate because things were not like the usual way that they should be. So I came in September 2020. I had to quarantine for 14 days. Like, every rule was still in place when I came. There was no contact. I was coming with so much excitement. I've never traveled out of West Africa before, so I'm coming into Europe for the first time, and I had to spend the first 14 days of my excitement in like the same room, and it wasn't the best experience. And even though at the moment I didn't know what that could like, the excitement was just there, so I didn't know the effect of like the quarantine, staying indoor and all of that. I couldn't see any negative impact that could have maybe contributed to my mental health at that point. And after that 14 days, I then moved to where I started a Bible school. If you have seen some of my videos, I've talked a lot about my experiences when I was with Youth with a Mission. So I went to the Bible school, and there were 5 nationalities in the Bible school. I was the only African. So the other nationalities were all from Europe and America. So there was so much going on around me that I couldn't just like place my mind on. I know some people's experience might be a little bit different from mine. Some people might come like to study or come independently. So just try to maybe hear my story and pick one or two things that you can relate to from my story. So there was so much going on in the home that I couldn't relate to. I couldn't understand. Like, there were some jokes that people would talk about. I couldn't, because most of the people that came have majorly like similar background. They've watched like kind of the same movie. They understand the same kind of jokes. Like, they, even though they were like from all different countries as well, but they were like similar people from similar countries. I was the only one from Africa. So trying to fit in into that setting was a little bit overwhelming for me, and I became a little bit withdrawn. So out of everyone that attended that Bible school, I think I was the only one that I felt like I didn't really like flow with everybody, because everybody at the end of the school, when they were sharing videos, I was the least appeared person in the video, because I couldn't just fit in with a lot of things that was going on. Most of the time they invite me for games that I don't even understand, I don't maybe find funny, and they find funny, and there was just so much that I couldn't just fit in into. And at that time, I would say I was a little bit withdrawn. The only time I would come out and be bold and be maybe talking is when we are doing like Bible study, when we are doing prayer, because those are the things that, okay, I know that this is like fellowship and something that I don't feel any barrier or any limits to contribute to. But when it comes to other social things that was going on, I couldn't just fit in. It was just too overwhelming for me. And the second thing that contributed to my emotional health when I came to the UK, or how I felt psychologically and emotionally, was that I told you earlier that I came during the lockdown. So there was no church that was opening. All the churches were like locked down. So to actually find a place to belong was hard. And when the lockdown started opening up, the church I first attended because they were just opening after COVID, there was nothing going on. There was no, there was just, people were just going to church, sitting in spaces, fellowshipping, taking their bags and going. People could not even open their mouths to sing because you have to wear a mask. So it was that bad. So I couldn't find a place to belong, because personally, church has always been a place that I feel like helps me to navigate seasons of life. When I was in the university, fellowship and church was like the major backbone of my life, because I'm an introvert. So I barely go out. I would stay in my house every time. So except somebody invites me or push me or something. But when it comes to church program, I know I have church program on Wednesday, this and that, I would definitely go. So church was that thing that would want me to want to go out, and that wasn't happening at that time. So it was that bad. I couldn't go to church, and when I go to church, it was just dry. We couldn't sing, we couldn't, it was, you know how COVID was. So that's like the second thing that influenced the way I felt when I came into the UK. The third thing that influenced the way I felt when I came into the UK was, you know, when you come into a place and you don't really know what people expect from you, or you don't know what they're, you don't know what they think of you, or what they it's not like you really care about what people think about you, but then you still care about what people think about you. Because when you are in a new place, especially I came in then as a single, so I was living with other people, I was navigating through that season. So there was just so much of, oh, I don't know, there's a lot going on in this world. There's a lot of things that divide us as human beings. There's racism, there is a lot of ideology. Some people believe this, some people believe that. So you are living in a space with people that could have believed something that you don't believe, or people that could have been thinking something that you are not thinking. So your reactions, you're always judging it that, oh, I hope this person is not reacting to me because of my skin color. I hope this person is not reacting to me. You know, there's just so much, especially we that come from Africa. We always like, most of the time, we always like judge people's reaction towards us, because we think, because of the idea of racism, you'd be like, oh, I hope this person is not being racist to me. And there are some people that would actually be to you, but that thing is always ongoing in your mind, even when you go out to the shop, even when you go and chat with somebody, even when you are wherever you are, in the bus, in the train, you are always looking out for that. I hope my presence here is not an offense to somebody. So there was just all of that that was going on in my head and in my mind, and so many things that, even though there are some days that maybe you will actually be confronted, that you feel like, oh, this person has been rude to me, maybe because of some things that they might have in their head. And it might not even be so, because some of those things can just be speculation. But these are some of the pressure that we face when we move out of an unfamiliar zone, an unfamiliar area where you are coming out from. Place like Nigeria to the UK, where there's diversity, people from Asia, people from America, people from all over the world. Because back home, you know, in Nigeria, everybody's like 99% blacks, everybody's just Africa, from Africa and everything. So coming to a place where there's so much diversity, there's so much culture, there's so much things going on around, it could be very, very, like, will I say intimidating, or overwhelming. Yeah, overwhelming. So your mind is processing a lot, your body is trying to adjust to so many things, you're trying to be comfortable with so many things, and it's not easy. It's a big deal. Actually, it's a big deal. During my experiences, there were days that I would cry and I wouldn't even know why I am crying. Like, I would just cry because I'm just so overwhelmed with so much of emotion, and I'll go to my room and I'll cry. People wouldn't even know that maybe I just finished crying or something. So after I've gone through that season, now it's going to be 4 years I've been in the United Kingdom in September, and I'm just reflecting on those times. I could see all those small things that I felt like, oh, it doesn't matter, oh, it's just a normal thing, oh, it's this and that. And those are actually the things that is swelling up, like welling up in my being, and it's making me feeling frustrated at that time, because my body is trying to adjust to so much at the time. So those were like the things that I went through emotionally. And I've heard of people that also have cried without any reason in this country. They just cry because There's just so much that you are going through that you can't really put your words together to say, okay, this is why I'm crying. But you're going through so much. Being aware of some of these things would help to maybe navigate through the season of relocation. Going to the major point that I said I'm going to discuss in this video about why I feel people feel down, especially when they just relocate to the United Kingdom or experience some emotional breakdown, is that this life is very spiritual, and there is a spirit of where like you are, there's a spiritual like culture of where you are migrating to. Every place, like, we are spirit being, and either we believe it or not, either we know it or not, our spirit is even more than our physical. So the kind of spirit of where you are migrating to could contribute to how heavy you feel when you migrate to such country. In this United Kingdom, there's so much going on, especially in the place of the spirit. There's so much heaviness, there's so much mental health crisis, there's just so much going on. Like, there's so much belief, there's so much going against the norm that is happening in this country. If you know the history of Christianity, you know that majority of the Christians that have gone to Africa and Asia has come from the United Kingdom to preach the good news to those places. But now, even to find like an average of like youth that believe in God, just believe in God, is hard. So you can imagine, so a country that is like almost kicking against God, a country that everything is acceptable except anything that has to do with God, is like that God is the problem. So people would accept any kind of thing, any kind of whatever ideology, but when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to Jesus, it is not acceptable. When they will celebrate anything, there's just so much going on. People are becoming gods of their own. People are, whatever makes you feel good, whatever ideology that you whatever makes you comfortable, there's just so much of that preaching around. Even if you are not involved in those things, you will just begin to feel the weightiness of such spirits all around you. So that is like the major reason why I feel that most people that come to this country experience some kind of like almost a season of that weightiness of depression. I won't call it depression, but that emotional blankets, that people just feel. And I believe navigating that season, you can only navigate it through prayer. Because yes, there's so much going on in this country, but there is a God that is bigger than whatever that people are like passing around, and the virus, the mental health virus that is being passed around everywhere. The light of God that we carry in us is brighter than the darkness that is in this country. As somebody that believes in Jesus, wherever you come from to come into the United Kingdom, if you believe in Jesus, I believe there is a reason why God has called into this country. So the Bible says the light shines in darkness, and the darkness could not comprehend it. So if the light is shining in light, yeah, it's good. But when the light now comes into the midst of the darkness, that is when the significance of the light or the importance of the light can be made use. Like, that is how useful the light can be. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but coming to this country is to shine the light of God. So there might be so much going on, there might be so much withiness, and I want to just encourage us as Christians to not lose our guard and not let that darkness to overwhelm us. There's some people that will come into this country that they've never smoked in their life. When they come to this country, they started smoking. There are some people that come to this country, they've never drank in their life, and they've come to this country to become alcoholic. Some have come and they've forgotten God. When you come here, there are some prayers that you wouldn't be praying again, because back home you pray that the NEPA should bring light. Back home you pray that as you are going to the market, though, that your Okada will not like have a traffic jam or accident will not happen to you. But there are some prayers you won't pray here. I'm still going to share my experience. I had a bus accident sometimes ago in the UK. I was shocked. It has never crossed my mind that I will now go out, my boss will now have accidents. In this UK, my mind will be like, everything is good, the road is good now, everything is coordinated, the bus does not even run, they are always like steady and working with a particular speed limit. When I had that accident, it was a shocker for me. So there are some prayers that you won't pray, and even though it's good that you are not praying that prayer, but that prayer should not now reduce your prayer life. It should maybe prioritize your prayer. So there are some things that you won't pray about, but there are some things that you now have to pray about, that you now have to include in your prayer, even though you are not praying for your breakfast or what you eat tomorrow again. But then maybe this is time to now pray for the nations. Maybe this is time to now pray for like projects. This is time to pray for like to see the kingdom of God come. This is time to pray for the light of God to shine around you. How can you like minister to people? How can you bless lives? Maybe this is time for such kind of prayers. Yeah, so I just want to encourage us as Christians that when we move into a new country and it's feeling like our light is dimming and things are going down with us, we should not allow the enemy to triumph over us. We should stand on our feet and keep on praying and keep on believing in God, no matter what the culture of where we are is saying. Even if they say that there is no God, don't succumb to that pressure. You just keep believing. I believe this video is going too long now, and there's a lot I want to share. There's still like a lot that I have now that I want to say, but I'm going to just stop here. I'm going to maybe have a part 2 of this video to talk more about like things that are going on when it comes to the place of the spirit and emotional and mental health things that I believe is going on in this United Kingdom, especially, or if you travel to another country or this advanced country and all of that. Yeah, so I'm just going to do another video to talk more about that. So thank you. If you have watched this video to this very point, you are the real VIP, and I really appreciate you. I didn't post last week because personally I'm this kind of person that likes to evaluate what I do. So I've been thinking a lot about my content and thinking that, okay, am I adding value to people? So I don't just want to come here and just be blabbing, you know. I want to add value. So that's why I just took a pause last week to reflect on the past few videos that I've done and to see like what is the way for what are the kind of content that I can be posting. And yeah, that's why I didn't post last week. I'm sorry, I didn't send any notification about that. Yeah, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please smash that subscribe button, because there's a lot of juicy things that is going to be happening on this channel and it's going to be valuable to you. Thank you so much and God bless you. Bye.